Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. There's an article from AMB Crypto. Ripple's allegations about Swift's 6% error rate may be inaccurate. You know what this is, right? Well, perhaps if you're new to the space, you may not be familiar, but Swift, which is really Ripple's primary competition as it pertains to moving money around the world, quite the legacy system. Been around since 1973. That didn't even exist yet. And it's just the way that money moves around the world. It's just it's called the correspondent banking system, and the actual, can I call it technology even? What Swift has been using since 1973. It's a unidirectional messaging system, and so you send a message forward. It's like putting a postcard in the mail and hoping it gets the recipient. You don't know for sure if it ever does. The messaging doesn't complete, which is completely different than RippleNet, which uses bi-directional messaging. Much superior. That's just one of the differences right there. But that's part of the reason that there are all sorts of transaction errors on the Swift network. And of course, we've heard from Brad Garlinghouse and other people from Team Ripple that Swift's published error rate is 6%. And I'm going to tell you right here at the outset, after having read through this, I'll just say this: I want to hear Ripple's response to this, because my honest answer right now is I don't know. I don't know if this is accurate or not. I want to hear, before I form a firm opinion. I'll treat this the same way I treat anything else in life, until I feel like I have sufficient data. I don't form firm opinions, even though you might think that I'm biased just because it's Ripple. I like intellectual honesty, so let's just say that. So I'm going to go through that. There's also, I want to highlight an XRP community member who just launched an XRP YouTube channel, and I'm always happy to spread the good word of XRP community members when they're doing stuff and creating content, whether you're a blogger or YouTuber, whatever it is, or if you sell socks like the Crypto Man even. I'm happy to highlight anybody I can. So I'm going to tell you who that is, and then I'll wrap up the video with this article from AMB Crypto. Unrelated, but fascinating nonetheless. It's titled, "Cryptocurrencies, like the internet, will take time for mass acceptance." Ain't that the truth? Now, before we get rolling here any further, if you would please delicately tap that like button, but do not get all smashy with it. The policy on the Moon Lambo channel is if you break that precious, delicate like button, that's on you. You break it, you buy it. Tough love, I know, but that's the way we roll here. And if you would please consider subscribing. You don't have to do it. Maybe you're like, Moon Lambo, he's got a stupid name, and it's just, you don't want to associate with that. When Moon, when Lambo. Okay, I do have a stupid name. But, you don't have to do it right now. Maybe just think about it, sleep on it, come back tomorrow. So let's go ahead and jump into this first piece here now. Ripple's business model has long been touted as an efficient solution for conducting cross-border payments, a field that is currently dominated by Swift. Swift's archaic technological standards have often come under scrutiny from many in the community, with one of its most aggressive critics being the San Francisco-based blockchain firm Ripple. Swift's ability to innovate has been a matter of debate for years now, and Ripple has never shied away from pointing out the inconsistencies plaguing the international money transfer network with numbers and figures. However, Martin Walker, Director of Banking and Finance at the Center for Evidence-Based Management, has questioned Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse's allegations about Swift having a 6% error rate. The hypothesis of Walker's paper was to verify if Garlinghouse's statement, 6% of all Swift transactions require human intervention, was true. And I remember this guy, and I did look him up just a little bit because the name sounded familiar. So I looked him up just a little bit, not an in-depth dive, and I know that I've seen stuff from him, and I really wish I could remember what it was, but I think he might be, and I'm not certain, but I believe I saw something from him in the past a long time ago that led me to believe that he was kind of just an anti-Ripple XRP type of troll. I can't remember for sure, so I want to clarify that up front, but that's why when I saw this name and then I saw the content of this, I became skeptical. So that's why I said at the outset I would love to hear Ripple's response specifically to this. That would help me form a firm opinion, right? But anyway, so As we get to here, the hypothesis of Walker's paper was to verify if Garlinghouse's statement, 6% of all SWIFT transactions require human intervention, was true. Garlinghouse has highlighted SWIFT's error rate on a number of occasions, including at the Money 2020 Asia Conference in 2018, where he said, quote, "SWIFT's published error rate is 6%. Now I will talk to corporate treasury people, and they will actually tell you it is higher than 6%, but even the 6%, ... And so I don't think, I want to be clear, I don't think that Brad is lying about this. In fact, that's why, again, I just want to hear a response to this. I think, to me, that would be quite fascinating. But again, having talked to corporate treasury people, they just lying to him when they're saying, yeah, actually, it's higher than 6%. You know, is he really just for some reason making that up? That, to me, that doesn't make any sense. Another thing that sounds is just conceptually fascinating to me. It's been known that Brad Garlinghouse and other Ripple employees have been saying it, as this article cited, many occasions, the 6% error rate. I'll tell you, I personally have never once seen Swift rebut that or say it's not true. And part of the reason is maybe it is higher than 6%. And they're like, yeah, run with that 6% number, and they're like twice as bad as that or something. I don't know. But I personally, if you've seen Swift rebut that, show me. I did a quick Google search. The interwebs did not bring up any results along those lines, so I don't think that they're claim what Ripple is stating is false. I just haven't seen it. Anyway, and the piece continues, in fact, Ripple's 6% error rate claim was based on a 2014 paper authored by two independent payment experts. Walker contacted one of the authors and came to the conclusion that, quote, and here it is, so here's his explanation. The error rate referred to a mathematical model the authors had created to identify whether participants on the SWIFT network were core or peripheral parts of the network. The error rate referred to the accuracy of the model, not the rate of errors in messages. So that's the key part right there. He says that the reports, the evidence for all of this. Again, the error rate referred to the accuracy of the model, not the rate of errors in messages. In other words, the 6% error rate was totally irrelevant. All of Garlinghouse and Ripple's commentary on the error rate and what it meant was also, as a consequence, completely erroneous. That's what he says. Interestingly, both Marcus Treacher and Marjan Delatine, now the Senior Vice President of Customer Success and Global Head of Banking, respectively, have previously worked for Swift. That's another thing, like, did you really think, to me it would be hard to even fathom that Brad would know this to not be true and cite the 6% error and just, and if it were true, they know everybody in the world of fintech, and here Swift employees, former Swift employees cited. Don't you think somebody would have told Brad, "Oh, hey, that's a little off here"? Like nothing like that. There's been nothing like that. So I'd just be, if I could use the word flabbergasted, I would be flabbergasted if there's something more to it. Anyway, looking at the bigger picture, the real question was, if the SWIFT network is fast, reliable, and only charges a few cents, how can international payments take days and attract high fees? Walker explained that the answer for this is based on factors such as infrastructure, business processes, and business models of banks and other financial institutions, as well as the laws and regulations of jurisdictions involved in transactions. Okay, that's like a really long-winded way to explain this, and I don't think it's, in my opinion, I'll read his quote in a sec. I just don't feel like it's sufficiently. The reason? It comes down to trust. People don't trust each other because they don't know each other. That's the whole problem with the correspondent and banking system. You can't know and trust everybody. By taking, cryptographically secure distributed ledger technology, the XRP ledger solves a huge chunk of the problem as it pertains to settlement here. That's it. So really, it comes down to that. The correspondent banking system, you're taking out tons of middlemen that don't need to be there thanks to technology today. That's the real answer, right? So here's his quote, though. The creation of the payment instructions by sending banks and the processing of those instructions by banks receiving the SWIFT message is only as good as the banks themselves. While SWIFT was only acting as a network for the communication of messages, it did not have any view how efficient or effective the processes in the banks and other financial institutions were. So there you go. That's his quote. Next here, I want to highlight Stone Hodel XRP. He has indeed launched his own XRP YouTube channel. Now, admittedly, I have not had a chance to watch the first video. It was a little over 10 minutes. I am going to, though. I did click on it, though, and it's got a snazzy intro. I got to up my intro game. I don't even have one. But no, it looks snazzy. So props to you. I'll tell you, to be perfectly honest, I kind of wish I had started my channel sooner. I actually technically I formed the account at the end of December 2017, but then I've cited this on the channel a couple times, but I was like, yeah, maybe I should wait just to make sure my passion doesn't go away. And I didn't think it would, but I was like, maybe just stay in the space a little bit longer. I'd only been in the space less than 2 months at that point, and I was just kind of eager, and I was like, what if I'm getting ahead of myself? So I put it off. And then also I thought, well, it'd probably be good if I learned a little bit more. And I was still, mind you, even to that point, 2 months in, I was researching like crazy amounts, spending crazy amounts of time. I was just genuinely it captured me. I just, the bug bit me, and I was so into it as a genuine passion and just a fun hobby and just learning all about this stuff. But I didn't actually launch the channel until almost a year later. On December 14th of last year, I put out my first video. And so part of the reason is, I felt a little bit serious at the time. I was a 35-year-old man launching a YouTube channel, and I probably shouldn't have felt that way, but I kind of did, to be honest. And, the way I look at it, though, is to achieve something that's meaningful in life, just kind of generally speaking, the way I look at it, you've got to be willing to put yourself a little outside of your comfort zone. And so for me, it was a little bit, nothing tremendous, but it was a little bit outside my comfort zone. I didn't want to keep using that as an excuse to not launch my channel when I had that much genuine passion. I felt like I had something I could contribute to the community. And so I'm glad that I ultimately did it. But the reason I'm citing all of that is because I have tremendous respect for those that are willing to get out there and do this, because I will tell you, when I started recording, I felt weird talking to myself in a room, with the microphone sitting right there. It honestly takes a while to get used to, but now I feel perfectly at home, but it did take, admittedly, a little bit of time to not feel like a complete goon doing this. So there we are. So anyway, there you go. You can look them up on YouTube, Stone Hodel XRP. Go ahead and do it if you want to support the latest XRP YouTube content creator out there. All right, next, here's a tweet from Steve Bull from the Deep. I like this. He tweets out, "What I hate about XRP is there is too much great news and too many things flooding out every single day. Can't keep it up." And indeed, I was actually, but the first video I recorded today, I was like, this is just one of those days where there is so much out there, there's not a chance in hell that I could possibly cover all of the news out there. And it makes me feel like I'm not doing a good job, but I'm trying to cover everything. There's just literally not enough time out there sometimes. But you know what? If you're going to have a problem, that's a cool problem to have, right? So there we are. All right, last piece here, then I'll wrap up the video from AMB Crypto. Cryptocurrencies, like the internet, will take time for mass acceptance. Brock Pierce, American actor and prominent Bitcoin supporter, recently featured in a live interview hosted by 2 Prime to discuss cryptocurrency's growth and potential as a replacement for fiat. In doing so, Pierce highlighted that cryptocurrencies have provided the general public an opportunity to change the world and make it a better place. While maintaining his prediction of cryptocurrency's mass adoption in the future, Pierce also stressed on the fact that prominent technologies such as the internet and email also required time before being accepted by the masses. And here's a quote. "Once the technology, the underlying infrastructure, is there in place, we could see 1 billion users onboarded in 12 months. That is probably how it will happen when it happens." And then the piece continues. Pierce also claimed that the present cryptocurrency infrastructure is not sufficient, by stating that the ecosystem is not simple enough, secure enough for the average user. Touching on the mass adoption aspect of cryptocurrencies, the entrepreneur claimed that it is always better to build a product that is at least 10 times better than its predecessor, or build something that has never been done before. And then, as an example, Pierce said, quote, "In Venezuela, the cryptocurrency system is 10 times better than the Venezuelan bolivar." That's fascinating, by the way. Conceptually, right? Just conceptually. This is also why Kenya is the most advanced payment market in the world, because they didn't have anything else. And then he further reiterated that blockchain technology itself is a tool, and the future will be primarily determined by the quality of the people at the work on it and the intentions of the people that operate it. And so indeed, nascent technology, early days, but hey, all good things in time. If I had to guess, and just for the fun of it, because I've talked about the order in which I think cryptocurrencies are going to be adopted in terms of use cases, and I've cited that if a cryptocurrency, whether it's XRP or Bitcoin, if you could actually make Lightning Network work or something like that, will Bitcoin or XRP or some cryptocurrency one day be used as money? If I had to guess, just for fun. And without putting a timestamp on it, meaning it could be decades from now, if I had to guess, I think I'd guess the answer is yes, but I don't think that it's going to be replacing necessarily a bunch of fiat currencies. It will be another option, and in certain places around the planet where there's all sorts of political turmoil, whatever, maybe fiat currencies that are kind of crap and experiencing runaway inflation, stuff like that. I could see once the asset class is matured and there's less volatility in cryptocurrencies, which I think is coming, probably a long time from now, but I think it's coming. If I had to guess, yeah, I could see a cryptocurrency in some corners of the world being used in place of fiat currency. It doesn't seem like that radical a concept. I'm just not of the Bitcoin maxi mindset that just thinks the whole opinion of down with banks and down with government, and we don't need fiat currencies, and Bitcoin is going to be used to pay for everything. Like, to me, that's silly. To me, it's just some corners of the world this might make sense way down the road, way in the future, and there's a lot of hurdles to overcome to get to that point, and maybe it'll take hold a little bit. That's all I'm saying, just if I had to guess for fun. But that's it for this video. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything, because of anything that I say or write, that would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!